The Choice of a Young Voice. This is a brand new series talking about the different choices that we make as young people. Being a young person, we are faced with different challenges in life that we need help a lot of the times. So in this series, trust you me, whatever aspect of life, be it your social life, your career life, your spiritual life, we are going to talk about each aspect carefully and address it in a way that will help us young people make the right choices in life today. I am your host, Caroline Muche. Thank you for tuning in, and I pray that you will stay with us throughout this season and enjoy the discussions that we'll be having today. For today, we are talking about survival kit for a young person. What do we need to survive in life? How do we package ourselves in life today, spiritually, career-wise, social life? We're going to discuss each aspect and talk about the perfect kit to put in, the perfect elements that need to be in the survival kit. With me, I have special guests right here. I'll start with the ladies, as society demands. This is Paris. She's a lawyer. She's an amazing woman of God. She will help us to understand so much more about how we can package ourselves as young people. Right next to her, you know how we introduce in church, on my farthest right, we have Steve Ngolo. He is a man of God. He is here as well to represent the man child, the boy child, and explain to us how we can survive in today's society. And we have, ladies and gentlemen, a lovely audience right here, eager to learn about how we can survive in life today. So let's get into this topic. What are these elements that we need to survive in life?
You need yourself. You need to be there. They say that a lion who is a lion who is dead, a cat who is alive is better than the lion who is dead, because you need to be there. The youth, the young man needs to be. We want to see, where is this young person? Before we even equip you, we want to see whom we are equipping with the skills of life. Once you are there, you also need skills of life. You need the strategies of living. How do I survive? This world has many young people. I am not the only one. How can I be seen within this population of 7 billion people in the world? How will I be seen? And you have to be seen in the positive way. I know when I was young, they were being told that there was this young boy, and because he was short, he will always laugh loudest or longest, so that you look back and say, who is this person? You need to be noticed in the right way. That is one of the most crucial aspects as we start.
Thank you, Paris. Steve, if I were to ask you to explain to us how you packaged yourself as a young person, what were the elements that you had? I don't think you're old yet.
Of course, I'm old enough. I'm old enough. One thing that I know is that you have to understand yourself and what you want in life. Because anyway, life is there for each and every one of us. But what do I want in life? And again, you have to surround yourself with people who can help you realize who you are. You know, meaning friends and the people we interact with, our network really defines us in a bigger way. You know, you cannot be an eagle when you are flying with the chicken.
Wow.
You know, so you are here with the chicken, you are scratching the ground. That does not make you an eagle to fly up. Yet I want to fly up. I want to be where people are. And who are my role models, you know? Those that I'm looking up to, you know, whom do I want to be like? If it's a matter of speaking English, who speaks English better that I want to speak like, you know? For a long time, Obama has been my role model, you know? Especially when he came into power, and I was like, who is this man? I mean, I wanted to know who this guy is.
Is he your relative?
Of course, by virtue by virtue of where I'm coming from, I think we are related in a way. Yeah. But so role model. Each and every one of us must have someone whom you're looking up to. You know, you want to be a lawyer. Who is that top lawyer that you feel you can associate with? You want to be a teacher, right? Whom can I associate with? Or I'm already a teacher. Is there any teacher that I can always admire and want to be like? You want to be a pastor? Who speaks to you that you feel, if this person speaks, I think this is the person I should emulate.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So in coming up, you have to keep your kit fully loaded. It should be full all the time. It's not supposed to be empty. And these are things we grow with. It doesn't retire with age.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we've talked about, you know, the first aspect is to know and understand yourself. Now, from my understanding, I can imagine a young person should be able to have a spiritual life, a career life, a social life. And what is the order, so to say, of which these things should come? Is there a particular order? Paris?
We told we are social beings. So socially, I think it starts from when you are born. You are born into a family, you become a child of this family. It is a way of life. We cannot say, unless you say family life and when you're getting to married, but socially, you are a social person. You will have friends in school, you will have associations in church, you will always be in a group of young ladies growing up, you are chama. We socially, we will always be all round. Career wise, I think career comes in later, because when we start being children in the house, we are taught this 1, 2, 3 things. It reaches a time when you start feeling like, you know that I am a girl and he is a boy at some point in life. And when you start discerning that I'm a girl and he's a boy, there are things that you see and they separate you from him. But then at one time, you feel attracted to that boy. You don't understand yourself. So that comes in later on. But while you are trying to discern whether you are attracted to the boy or attracted to the girl, there is the path that we are going through. We are going through education. So I think after social life, there is the career path. It comes up. And then there's also that bit of now wanting to be united or very close to the opposite sex. What I want to say is that they scale up as we grow. But they are intertwined.
They're all intertwined.
They're all intertwined. At some point you'll reach and you're going to school as well as working, but you're also a father or a mother in the house. But it starts from somewhere. Social being, we grow up in a social community, and even as we are growing up, we are creating our career path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Steve, where does the spiritual life now come in?
Let me just pick it from where she's dropped it, which is quite powerful. In life, you have to create a balance. If you look at those who have prospered, of course, the Bible promises us prosperity, you know, and that is why we are working hard. We want to be people in the society and even in our spiritual life, you know, and therefore you have to create a balance. You have to create a balance in your spiritual life. You have to create a balance in your career life. You have to create a balance even with your social life, because these things, they go together. It's like riding a bicycle. The moment you stop, it will not balance. You'll obviously support yourself by either stepping down or holding onto an object which is stationary, right? But for it to move, you have to keep doing what? Pedaling. That is how life is. So we have to pedal from both ends so that we move. And so the Bible says, Isaiah chapter 1, 8, right? Come now and let us reason together. Says who? The Lord. So what God invites us into as young people is reasoning. So that even in our spiritual life, we will not spend all our time, right, doing this at the expense of doing this in the name of spiritual life, you know. we are not the priests in those churches, because it's only in the, I mean, the Bible says that the priest shall feed from where? From the house of the Lord. But you who is not a priest and not feeding there, it means you have to find another wise source. And so keep the Sabbath holy, spend time with your Jesus, right? And make sure you're spending quality time with Jesus. But also remember, you have a career to fulfill, you have a school to go to, right? So we are not going to read books, spiritual books throughout our entire life. Yet I'm an engineer, I also need to do what? To specialize in this. So I'll balance this with this to come out well. So our spiritual life should be a life that also leads us into bettering our lives. Yes. God does not want us to be lazy. That is not our God.
Thank you. Paris, now that we've talked about the importance of having a spiritual life, a career life, a social life, they're all intertwined. How about we get a bit more specific now and more practical? Now, for instance, in the spiritual life, because I believe that's where we should start from. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So in your spiritual life, how can you package yourself as a young person in a way that won't affect, or you know, in a way that's balanced enough for your other things to prosper?
You know, the wisest man to live says you have to plan with God. You start with God, and then he fulfills the rest. In everything, socially, the career-wise, we know we have to start with God. And one of the ways that we have to start with God is communicating with God. We talk to him through prayer. He speaks to us through his word and through the other people who are ordained to speak to us. So the first and foremost thing, as my brothers say, reasoning with God, listening to him, you start from there. Once you have started from there, the rest flows. Because of this thing, God gives us wisdom on what we need to do. In as much as the balance that we get wisdom from other places, the wisest, or the what we call as wisdom, and the knowledge that will help us is the one that comes from God. We listen to him, we talk to him, and we are able to plan our days, plan our life, plan all the other things that we have to do.
So we start from God.
So we start from God.
I wake up at like 5 a.m. and I read my Bible.
And you speak to him and seeking him to guide your steps, even to give you the opportunities. You know, we feel like I have so and so, I know so and so. But if God says no, it is no. He opens up ways for us. Even in my own career, even other people, we always say that the Asians, where we live, there are many of them, and we say in their businesses, they come in and like meditate for some time, seeking first the intervention of the one that they believe to be God. And that's the first thing for us. Start with God.
So from what I'm understanding, starting with God is in everything. It's not everything. It's not just, oh, this is one aspect, spiritual life, and that's it. When I come to work, it is business. God aside. And
it is in everything.
Steve, what more can you say?
No, God reigns supreme. And therefore, your relationship with God must always be top-notch. I'm still insisting we have to reason with God, right? He's given you a career, do it like you're doing it unto him, you know? So that in every aspect of your move, God is first, right? When I wake up in the morning, I'll do my personal study, devotion for 30 minutes, do my prayers, then of course prepare and leave my house for work. When I get to the office, I also pray at my desk, you know. You have to pray. That does not mean...
Pray without ceasing.
Yes, yes. You have to pray. Anytime, you can always pray, you know. Seek God, yes. He is the one who is going to guide you in this, whatever you're doing. Even in school, it is God who will guide you. But that does not mean that you're going to substitute everything you're doing and telling your employers and clients that, hey, I'm still praying, you know, I'm still, no. Let your prayer life not interfere with your job that you're doing.
Your prayer life should help.
It should help you, should facilitate you.
Facilitate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now we've tackled that quickly. How do I package myself then as a young person in my career? What is the perfect package for me in my career?
It's how you present yourself. We know education really is very important. In our career-wise, education is important. It gives us specialization. It makes me be able to do what I'm supposed to be doing to get my bread every day. That is, the first thing is get to learn that which you want to do. If I want to be a cook, and you know we say we want to be specialized, I will not be cooking the same way that my mother used to cook. Not because it's not the best, but because of one, technology is coming into the timing. I have to learn how to do it faster and better. I have to now learn to the way I'm going to present it and say, you see, this food that I've presented is full of vitamin this and this, which is good for, you know, I can't know that if I have not learned it.
Yes.
The first and foremost thing is you have to learn that which you want to sell to people. We are selling our skills. We are selling what we do. We've made, you know, if
Learn your craft.
I can do this, and then when I'm asked, what is this? I don't have a name for it. The person who is buying it may not, who wants to buy it, may think, do I buy something that I don't know?
Yeah.
So you need to have that knowledge of what I want to do. The first and foremost thing I believe is you need to have that knowledge.
Thank you. And even as we continue knowing, you know, the other things, because we're left to get into more in understanding ourselves in our career path, and also now in our social life, which I'm sure they're mostly interested in. Most young people just like to know, how do I then package myself to get a boyfriend? Or which we're here to understand all these things. Right now, I'd like us to take a look at a video of a woman who's helping us understand that life is all about balance, and survival kit needs to be balanced. So let's take a look at what she has to say, and we'll be right back.
When we talk about youth and lifestyle, it means it takes the whole part of your life. Now, as a youth, you need to balance your lifestyle. Your spiritual life should be taken care of. Your social life should be taken care of. Your physical life should be taken care of, and all aspects of life. Now, the spiritual part is very important because God is our creator. He's the one who created you, and He's the one who gives you everything. You need to take God first and put God first. When we talk about the social life, it also affects you as a youth. Your social life should also be balanced. When we talk about social life, we are talking about the people that you interact with and the people around you. Your parents, your brothers and sisters, your friends, your peers, they matter a lot in your life. And therefore, you should have a balanced life, social lifestyle. The way you interact with these people should uplift you and should make you happy. If you neglect that, you will have a problem. Career-wise, a youth should balance his career life. You should work hard to develop your career. When you are doing something that you enjoy, you will do it perfectly. And for you to enjoy your career life, you need to develop it and to take time to balance your career life. And also, your physical life, you need to balance your physical life. You need to check on how you appear before people. Your physical appearance, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk, those are aspects of the physical. The way you eat, it affects you. And you know that our bodies are very important in helping us to do these other things. Therefore, your life should also be balanced in that area. And all in all, we should put God first in everything. In your physical life, put God first. In your social life, put God first so that he can help you on how to interact with these people that are in your social life. In your career, put God first, because God is the one who can enable you to have a good career and to work well. And above all, in your spiritual life, put God first.
Welcome back. We have just watched really great advice, wisdom, I must say. In everything, put God first. What do you think about this video we've just watched, Steve?
I think she's really covered much. What can be covered in 2 hours, she's done it in quite a short time, you know, and she's touched all aspects of life. One thing that two things from her. One, put God first, and the second one, create a balance. Those are the things that should always be ringing in our minds. Identify yourself with a proper balance in life and God himself. Yeah.
Amen, amen. I hope you people are enjoying yourself so far.
Yeah,
or
yes.
are you, I'm sure you have a question or
Sure.
an opinion. Oh, Norman is already on it. Talk to us.
Yes, thank you so much. From the clip and what we've discussed with our panelists, I find that one thing is still coming out very clear, that we should put God first, right? In the same Bible, we are told that faith without works or action is dead. Now, as a young man who wants to balance my life, we've been told that you need to know yourself by our good lawyer here, or you need to be presentable. But I find it so challenging, maybe, how do I know myself, or the first step in taking to even try to socialize with my fellow people. And maybe I'm told something about self-esteem. I don't know about it. Maybe you can help me, you can tell me about it, if it can help me and another youth outside there, because I believe that first step is very important. Yeah.
Paris?
I said you need yourself and you have to know yourself. One of the things that I like in this constitution of ours is that every child has the right of a name from birth. So the first identity that we identify you with, in as much as we'll say this lady has given birth to 2 boys, but it will be, this boy is called John and the other one is called Paul. First identity is your name. And you say, and anywhere we ask you, who are you? Carol will say, I'm Carol Buche. You know, the first way that you know yourself is by identifying yourself with a name. Then there's the other bit that we identify ourselves like, I am the daughter of Migai, the wife of Odoyo. I now identify myself with the associations that I have. I am the sister, I am the mother. You have to know yourself and the people you associate with. That is the first thing that you associate yourself with. And on the bit of that identity, also build your self-esteem. When we grow up where I come from, you're always told, you say, I am the daughter of this place. No, that gives you identity, the self-esteem that you need. Those are the first and foremost thing that helps you to know who you are. And then, in addition to the other things that we learn, we now become Christians, children of God. I know we start being children of God. What I'm trying to say is that when you don't know who you are, who you associate with, who are the people who can forge for you, you feel like you're in a lower cadre. But when you know you're the child of God, the daughter of so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, and the other associations, they make you feel like you're somebody.
You're special.
You're special.
Thank you so much. And even as we start having more questions coming in, how do you package yourself in your social life henceforth then? You know, what does it mean to package yourself in your social life? We have friendships, we have romantic relationships, and some of us are, you know, at that stage where we are anticipating such things. You know, how do you package yourself, Steve?
Those are phases in life which, of course, everyone and each one must undergo, unless otherwise, right? But social life is so important because man is not an island. We exist with people, right? But packaging yourself, you have to ensure that you're mindful about others. Are you a nuisance with the people you are with. And this is what brings us to networking, you know? Who are the ones you want in your circles? We are not going to be a friend to every Tom, Dick and Harry, you know? There is something I'm admiring in her that pushes me to associate with her, you know? And so in growing up, I learned to pick friends on the basis of what I'm doing. And this is defined by my faith or religion. This can be defined by my career, right? And this can be defined by my talent, you know? All these things will define the people that are closer or the people in my circle.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, you have to look at it that how do they view you? That's what I mean when I say, how am I presenting myself to them? You know? How are they looking at me? As much as I want to associate with her, is she also free and feels like she also wants to associate with me?
In this,
you know? I have to make her comfortable for her to associate with me. If she's not comfortable, then I'll not be having friends. You know? And again,
so maybe, sorry to cut you short. Okay, actually, to ask further,
yes.
How was your experience? How did you package yourself before you?
I think I was not born an Adventist. And so I had a crop of friends up to until the middle of my college life, right? When I became an Adventist, it was a difficult task of shedding off friends. Actually, I shedded off friends to develop new friends.
Yeah.
It was a task, by the way. It was not easy because there are those who will still call you, hey, si tuende hapa. Then you're like, really no. And then you tell them, I want to go for Vespers. They're like, what is that Vespers thing? You know, they don't understand. And by the way, there are people who do not understand even what it means to go to church, you know. So I found myself bringing in a new clique of friends. And then, of course, when I got into my career, I also found a new crop of what? Of friends, you know. So if it is church, how do I present myself? Am I the boy that the parents will point their children to that staki utembee na nani, you know? Because parents also have got a say.
Yeah.
In my career wise, am I the one who will make my colleagues to be lazy in a way? So how am I presenting myself to them?
Thank you so much, Steve. Is there another opinion, question, comment from the audience right here? Yes?
Thank you. I'm Faith from Kisumu. So I have this issue of, as young people, okay, you really want to be putting God first in everything, but as you move on, there are these friends whom you come across, and it's like you are not able to avoid them in various ways. So I bring in peer pressure in young people. How are we supposed to come out of it? Yeah.
Paris?
They say if you don't stand for something,
you will fall for
you
anything.
will fall for anything.
Yes.
There are things that whether I have this kind of friends, this kind of family, this kind of employer, there are things that never change. Those are the ones we call our principles. You must have those. They are like your foundation, the thing you will lean on. And when you have them, they guide you on the kind of people you have to associate with. And sometimes you don't choose. Like in our workplaces, where I work, I meet clients who come from different denominations, different cultural aspect. But there are things that I say, this kind of a case, I'll take. This one, I can't do it because, one, of my belief, two, perhaps because of my, things that I associate with. The clients will say, I can only see you on Saturday. And my answer is, I don't work on Sabbaths. And so when you have those principles in life, one, the friends will be able to know she is this kind of a person. He will always respond this way. And so your friends will know the extent of association with you. So that if they have to associate with you career-wise, they know you work up to this time of the day. They know you work for this number of days. what I'm trying to say is that you must have your principles. Things that no matter what, come what may, whether I live in Kenya or outside, I have something I'll stand with.
Standing by our purpose. I don't know if you know that song. It's been ringing in my head as you've been talking about standing for God. Steve?
Norman spoke about self-esteem, right? And she's mentioned principles. These things, they go together. For you to have peer pressure, it means you have not even known who you are. So first, the identity we're speaking about, you have to identify yourself with your principles and with the esteem that you have. People can bring down your self-esteem, and it takes time to build it, right? So once you've built it up, you have to live to it. You will be knowing when to go left and when to go right, and when not to go. You know, you must learn to say no for you to be able to say the correct yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. Is there another comment, question? Yes? Yes.
Okay, I'm Josh from Kisumu. My question is that youths out there, sometimes they find it difficult to balance, because they said first we need to understand who we are, then we need to create a balance. But it reaches a point whereby the society has really made us not to create this balance, not even just to realize ourselves, but first to create this balance, because we need to live a social life, we need to have a career and all sort of things. But you find it reaches a point whereby you're being forced, or something just makes you to concentrate on one. If it is career, you just want career first, and you leave the, you like put aside the social life, and you realize that in future it comes to affect you. So how best can we balance all this? Because at some point, like youths, we try to seriously concentrate on our career, and we leave our social life and these others
outside. Yeah.
Let me take him back to school. In school, we have a timetable, right? That from this time to this time, it's literacy, right? From this time to this time, we are doing mathematics. From this time to this time, this and this. And that simply is a little picture of our lives. That even our lives, we must operate on a timetable in our minds, you sing in church, you know that you have to practice. Maybe you'll be practicing in the evening. You know that you should be working. You know that you should be seeing your girlfriend, right? Or even your friends, let me say so. Maybe you have a talent, you need to play soccer. Now, tell me, within the 24 hours that you have, are you able to plan and see which one can be prioritized to the expense of the other? So it means if this week, if Monday I go for singing practice, then tomorrow I can now go play my soccer, right? Then Wednesday I can also do something else. At the end of it, you'll be growing with them together in a balanced sphere, kind of. Yeah.
I guess also the challenge, I understand that I'm a young person as well, so I completely understand that challenge of it needs a lot of what we call, I guess, self-control, self-discipline, because you have to say, okay, I need to stop this, I can do this, and sometimes it's hard for us to have that, that I need to stop this now so that I can do something else.
We say making unpopular decisions for your betterment, you just have to make decisions that even yourself, you will feel hurt, You're like, I need to go see her, but I also need to see my boss. Both are important, but you have to cut one off. Just like even in the social life, friends, it's about making unpopular decision. I want to leave you, I don't want you in my circle. I have to now start associating with her. It's so painful, but I have to do it.
Nonetheless.
Okay.
There was a question behind there.
Okay, Amalan Wandigi. I just want to add on my teacher said, Mr. Angolo, on a friend. You stressed about a friend. So I want to say, like, as we are youth, sometimes we can try to hide our characters, or we can try to pretend. But when people see us, they will see us as a good person. But what about friend? Friend also matters. So it's like we were being told that as you try to hide, then someone will ask you, can you show me your friend? Then I will show you whom you are. So we have to mind our friends. Even if we just say, this is my friend, then he can also say, you are a good person, Ama. Can you leave it? Thank you.
That's a good one.
Thank you. One more.
I have a question, concern with the mentality that most youths have. Most of us, okay, we know the society can't be complete without the bad people. They need to be there. Like the say goes, in every market there must be a madman. So in the society also, there needs to be this bad person, the black sheep. And so most youths tend to imagine themselves to be the people, to draw these people out of their bad web. Yeah. And so how can we help a youth who thinks like, if I don't associate with this bad person, then there's no any other person who can help him come out of his bad behavior. How can you address that?
Please don't take the work of the Holy Spirit. We all know that it is the work of the Holy Spirit to speak to this person in a way that they can hear and try and change. Don't just like that mentality that we always say, let me marry her, this person from the other religion, then I will change him.
We'll preach to him.
Evangelism.
It's not your
Marriage
work.
of evangelism.
That is not, changing is not your work. Preaching, yes, but not changing. And you can preach in so many ways. I can try to change her in so many ways. Even sending a text or even sending a flyer. I don't have to always be with this person. They say the doctors are not sick, but the sick person goes and explains how they feel, and the doctors prescribe, so that the doctor doesn't have to say, I have to be like you for me to be able to help you. If God has given you the ability to help, prescribe it, and that's it. They don't have to stay with you in the ward for you, for this person to stay to change well. That's what we're saying. You can associate with them to the extent that is necessary, but when it becomes that you have to change your ways and be like them, conform to that bad person, I'm not saying he's the one, but associate with them to the extent that you become bad, no.
You have to be very careful. Steve, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I remember my physics teacher in high school once told us that you don't have to stop speaking Luo to know Kiswahili or English. because we have Luo speaking Kisi, they didn't stop speaking
their
mother tongue to know the other language. What I'm trying to say is you cannot change someone by associating, by doing what they are doing, right? You have to stand out. Actually, Paul says when he's talking, he says that if at all you've been married to an unbeliever, behave in a way that this person seeing you can also change to behave like you are, right? So this is not something that yourself, all you can do is to behave well and do right. And don't have a mentality that youths have to be wrong. No, they are not. It's only that they find the rules and regulations as working against them. It's like a small baby. You know, small babies, toddlers, they find joy in spoiling things. You know, you're like, hey, hata TV unaweka kwa ukuta, unaona?
So that they don't reach.
So that they don't reach. You know? So that should not be our mentality. For us, we have to outgrow it and know that what am I doing? What are my principles? And what do I want in life?
Thank you. Thanks. Is there a last comment? Okay, hold it. You'll give it just when we come back from the break. and then we'll be able to have the final comments. So stay with us. We are going for a short break. We'll be back. Welcome back. You are watching The Choice of a Young Voice, and we've been talking about what we need, the elements to survive in life today. We were just about to have a question from one of the audience. Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm Valerie from Kisumu. I have a question. Okay, I heard about our panelists talking about is self-esteem, and you find that there are youths who have a high self-esteem and the ones who have low self-esteem. So I'm confused. Could you kindly tell me which one is the best for a youth to have? Is it a high self-esteem or a low self-esteem?
Okay, this is interesting. We don't have much time, but let's see how we can tackle this. Yes, Steve.
All right. We must understand that we are born differently. We have different personalities, right? And in developing our self-esteem, it will also help us to gauge ourselves right. You know, high self-esteem, actually that's where what we are yearning to have. I want to be able to speak before people, stand before people, make independent decisions, right? That is just high self-esteem. So low self-esteem, it means you're not able to do all this, right? And therefore, a youth must always learn to develop the self-esteem to that high level, because that's where we want to be. A youth must learn to develop. You can grow it alone, and again, those who are already having it must learn to pull others to have the self-esteem right.
And quickly, Paris, now we're still in the aspect of packaging ourselves as social beings. We've talked about friendships. What about romantic relationships? What if I feel like I want this man, but he's refusing me, so I'm not good enough? Is it because I'm not packaging myself well?
Or you're not getting noticed?
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Like, I've really tried. Like,
so you need to smile wider. But one of the things is that we cannot, the Bible says two cannot walk together unless they have agreed. How are you getting yourself to the well? You know, they say many love stories started with the water and at the well, where Rebecca was found at the well. Same to Rachel and even Zipporah. The first place was at the well. You have to be at the well, be at the right place at the right time. And there has to be something attractive. I said the population of the world is 7 billion or even more. They estimate it to be at 7 billion. But what is it that makes me stand out? Maybe I'm the one who has noticed the young man, and I feel like I'm attracted to this young person. But perhaps that young person has never noticed that there's even a lady like you, leave alone a lady who's attracted to him.
I know, oh my goodness. And I've put my legs out there, I've showed him how.
Jaribu kumwelewa. Try to learn the person you want to attract. Maybe this person is attracted to cars, you know, attracted to the color yellow, but you always put on color black. Learn the other person. If you want that person to get to notice you, what do they like? And men are good at this. They will learn the girls they want. They know that if they sing, they will always be coming to choir, not practicing, but to say amen. So that this girl sees that there is that young man who always comes for practices. You learn the other person, and then strategize.
Thank you so much, Paris. I know some of you are like, okay, now I have more questions. Now I have to ask more questions. However, this is one topic we are going to address in one full episode before I say I do, you know? And basically in this episode, it's just a summary of what is yet to come throughout this season. We are going to address so much more on, you know, career, how to be more professional. We're going to talk about, you know, before before marriage, what do I need to do? And all these aspects of life that affect us as young people, we are going to address each and every aspect. Thank you for watching this introductory episode. I hope that you have been enticed to watch more in the coming weeks to come. God bless you. See you next week.